you very much for giving us some time with your team. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yep. So we want to be respectful of you guys' time, so we've allotted about 30 minutes for presentation, followed by 15 minutes for question and answer. This is all your time, so if you have questions or you want to stay over, we're here for you guys. And, if you need additional time and you want to schedule one-on-ones, we can do that as well. But for the sake of time, if you have any questions as we're going through, you can just hold those until we get to the end, because we probably will address most of them through the presentation. And if we don't, we'll be happy to get to them in the Q&A section. That'll keep me on task and get you guys onto bigger and better things. But first, if we could, we've kind of gone around the horn a little bit with the different McLaren individuals that are here. If you could just state your name, your location, and maybe what you do, that'd be great. Keith, if you want to kick it off.
Sorry, we had to unmute you. My name is Keith. I'm the corporate facility manager for McLaren Corporate.
I'm going to be for an hour.
How about Greg up at Northern? How about
I'm Tim
Lansing?
This is Ed from Major Lansing, manager for maintenance engineering.
Aaron Holt from Central, director of facilities.
Tim Lipka, McLaren Lapeer, manager of facilities.
All right. And then Greg had said Juan's with him. Welcome, Juan. So on our end, we've got Chris Duffy from our Wixom office.
Okay.
And he's remoted in. Kurt Hofstra from Grand Rapids office, he's remoted in. Scott Newhall, he's the manager of our Saginaw office. He's actually with Keith, as well as Jamie Yobb, the account manager. So we wanted to take a few minutes of you guys' time and learn about each other, discuss who we are, talk about your needs, and what distinguishes Vanguard from our competitors. And some of you have familiarity in different levels and different engagements, and we want to address some of those things, and if it's good, great, and if it's not, we want to discuss that. We want this to be an open forum to kind of discuss some of those things. So Vanguard is 60 years old this year, become one of Michigan's full-service largest fire protection companies, as well as probably in the upper 2% in the nation when you look at actual life safety companies. Got 160 employees, and we cover a lot of ground with not only our core business, which is what you guys deal with day to day, but we also have some other areas of expertise that we're involved in. Currently within our fleet, we've got about over 100 vehicles, obviously 24-hour, 24/7 emergency service. We are thorough in what we do. We're dedicated to compliance, whether it's in the design, install, or our technicians. And we're dedicated to our professionals and through training, certification, and other professional skills and development. So, a lot of those things are pretty similar to other people, and we'd like to think that we're different and we're continuing to grow and become different. I know that we have history with some of those of you guys that are on the call today, and what I'd like to say is we're not the same Vanguard we were even a year ago. We've taken some initiatives, especially in the healthcare avenue, and really dedicated a team and a focus in our training and our certification And so we're going to cover a couple of those things, maybe the differentiators that set ourselves apart from others. One is we have a strategic partnership with Compliance One Group. Some of you guys have worked with Compliance One Group on various projects, and they give us great feedback with what you guys share with them on some of your experiences, especially when it's in dealing with Vanguard. And we have an active and open communication process with Compliance One because we want to help each other succeed. We are actively engaged with Building Reports. Building Reports is the premier cloud-based inspection tool currently on the market. I know there's a lot of you guys have looked at some other options. We're familiar with Solaren and the eMeditrack and those options. But from a large scale, Building Reports is still a platform of choice. We're actually working with Building Reports hand in hand with Compliance One to work on what those reporting styles look like for you guys and to make sure that you're getting the report that you need so that you have a defendable report to the auditing commission. And those are really what we're working hard. And we have a lot of behind the scenes things going on with Building Reports to make sure that those reports display the accuracy and the information in the style that allow you guys to breeze through your audits and your compliance. One of the things that we heard some feedback from with Compliance One and also directly from conversations with some of you guys is, what we call completing the circle. And that's, following up at the end of an evolution, whether that's an inspection or repair or deficiency or whatever it may be, is having the tech follow back up with you and say, this is what we did, this is what we found, this is what needs to be done, this is the next step. So we are working very tirelessly with our technicians in developing that customer service focus. We want to keep you informed, educated, and compliant. That is our goal. Some of the areas that are the customers that we also work with in the healthcare, you'd recognize Spectrum, Metro, Covenant Health, St. Joe in Plymouth, Indiana, West Branch Regional, St. Mary's, as well as Macomb and Greater Lansing. We aren't unfamiliar with working in the healthcare organization, and we only want to get better at it. And I think with a partnership and working hand in hand, that we can help you accomplish your healthcare and your compliance needs. We have 5 brick and mortar offices throughout the state. We have our corporate office in Grand Rapids. We have a Detroit office located in Wixom, a Kalamazoo office, Grand Traverse area, and then our Saginaw office. You can see that, so those are staffed offices with real people and real buildings, real inventory to be able to meet your service needs. Now, Vanguard also, invests quite a bit in various organizations and certifications so that we are, in the forefront for our pre-qualification process and working with these key industry vetting associations. So Vanguard is a one-stop shop, and we do a lot of different things. We are what I would classify as a service organization that does design, installations, and commissioning. So we are service focused at our core. And so we have fire alarm systems. We are a Siemens dealer as well as a Mircom dealer. but from a service perspective, we are able to work on pretty much anybody's fire alarm system as long as it doesn't require programming outside of the fire alarm panels that we represent. Fire alarm sprinklers systems, fire pump systems, kitchen systems, critical asset, special hazard systems, and then any specialized detection and control. As well as we have, security and other life safety areas, the area of rescue, healthcare, entertainment, and education systems. I don't know what you guys use in that area. Is it like GetWell, or does anybody have any feedback on that? All right, we can cover that. Also, blue light emergency systems, keyless entry, access control, nurse call, and a mass notification, as well as video. Oh, I'm going to try to mute here. All right. Also, as we mentioned before, 24/7 on the emergency service. We have one manager on call and up to 8 technicians on call at any given time within the state for our core business. So we are very responsive on our service side. Like we mentioned, with building reports is a key component of our inspection process and as well as reporting process. We have UL Central Station monitoring, and as well as portable hand-operated fire extinguisher education and training, where we can come to your site and train your people with live fire extinguishers. So, as I mentioned early on, we are dedicated to healthcare compliance, and some of the things that we've done is we've got our guys, certified, healthcare constructor certified. We are working with our technicians to better understand not only the what but the why behind defendable reports and accuracy and the compliance issues. We're a single source contractor. Like we mentioned, we can handle any of your life safety, whether dampers, fire doors. We can do any of those things that we've mentioned. Vanguard spends and invests, I should say, a lot of money in our people, and in particular, we've really taken over the last year to put a heavy emphasis of that training into not only the typical licensing and certifications, but like we mentioned, customer service training, ASHI training, HCC certifications, and putting together a dedicated healthcare team to address these issues. So what is a dedicated healthcare team mean to you guys? It's actually people, a team that travels from healthcare facility to healthcare facility, working tirelessly to make sure that the reports are in the format that are required, the information is required, and they work with the healthcare facilities, understanding their needs and the areas of concern that you may have. So we've actually looked at that and to put together a vertical within our own company that specifically deals with healthcare and the compliance issues. So as many of you know, building reports typically cover fire alarm and life safety systems, portable fire extinguishers, exit and emergency lighting, as well as safety equipment. It can also complete inventories and inspect your access control, video, security, and nurse call, as well as your water-based protection system and fire pumps, special hazard, kitchen systems, and suppression systems. So, you know, if there's anything that we didn't cover, can also be built in the business, the building reports forms, and we can build your own forms that can actually track whatever asset or inventory you need to track and inspect. So what are the factors or risks in determining frequency of testing? You know, obviously it's code and age, J, compliance, and your accreditation. Obviously the size of your system, number of interconnected systems, the frequency of system modifications, as well as the risk of fire or other hazards based on occupancy. So there's a lot of variables that go into, you know, what needs to be done when and what it is that actually is done. And what we want to do is provide that mechanism for you to be a valued partner, you know, not just a vendor that helps you attain and address those things. Some of the obvious codes that are covered with the electronic reporting are NFPA 10, NFPA 12A, 25, 72, 80, 731, 2001. You know, there's also 96. There's others. There's a whole list. But these are the key codes that are currently allowed in electronic reporting. So real quick, I just wanted to go through our line card and talk a little bit about, you know, what products we represent. Ansel is one of the largest, we are one of the largest Ansel dealers in the nation, whether that's in fire extinguishers or our special hazard systems, kitchen systems. We have been an Ansel dealer for a very long time and dedicated to each other. Janus Fire Systems, which is CO2 systems as well. Amorex work well with Peerless. You can see there's other kitchen systems. UV/IR detectors with Spectrex. So we get into, I mentioned a lot, you know, outside our core business, you can see there's a lot of specialty detectors with Spectrex, Tektronix, Micropac. You know, those are all like UV/IR or UV cameras for, we do a lot of work in the petroleum industry as well, and requires a special detection as well as suppression. You know, Vanguard is also works in the security industry with access control and cameras. So we worked on we have a number of cameras at our fingertips, but also we work heavily with Exact and ONSSI from the video management side. I mentioned Miracom and Siemens, as well as Honeywell, you know, as for fire alarm. Emergency 24 is the company we subcontract our monitoring to. Tectone is nurse call and entry systems, and CWSI is a wireless fire alarm product. We mentioned health, entertainment, and education systems, which AKA would be your television and a lot of your facilities, or could be an iPad, but we rep a product called from HCI that is basically a giant Android phone, and it operates the same way with apps, and you can, as a patient, you could have your Netflix or Pandora or whatever you want on it, as well as integrated with the hospital system. So there can be patient education, there could be surveys for checkout, there could be ordering the food, All the management of the channels can be done in a central management area, so you don't have to have a tech out, changing channels and auto programming if you change services or providers. There's a lot of benefits to this product. It's made with Gorilla Glass. You can wipe it down with everything. There's no speakers, so there's nowhere for dust to collect, for infection control. It's just a great all-around product. So, I want to come full circle. We're nearing the end here. Vanguard wants to be your strategic partner. And, the reason that we've asked to take some time with you guys is to be able to, get ourselves out in front of you, talk a little bit about who we are, but also get some feedback from you. We're actively engaged with building reports, not just as a tool that we use every day, but we want it to become a product that you can use as well, that you can use in your reporting. We are industry leaders in life safety. We're dedicated, professionals in this field, and and we like to think that we continue to grow and get better with that each day. We talked about completing the circle, and that's not just a catchphrase for us. That's something that we are working on with our techs and our field people on a regular basis, so that better customer service, so that you get a better end product, there's better communication, and that we can better serve you. We talked about our 5 locations in the state. We're easy access to your facilities. The healthcare vertical we're putting together with trained and dedicated personnel. And last, we just want to keep you informed, educated, and compliant. So with that, I'm going to unmute everyone. And you guys have any questions?
Yes.
Comments? You can feel free to jump in.
Hey, Scott, it's Keith.
Hi, Keith.
You talk about the fact of being a single source contractor. Does that include fire pumps, or do you source your fire pump, getting them the checks for the fire pumps?
So we can do all the inspections. We can do some minor repairs, whether it's repacking and those kind of things. But if it comes to replacing it, then we do work with a subcontractor on that.
Okay. You also talked outsourcing of monitoring, the monitoring system. And are there any other items that you contract out for fire services?
If we were to get into, barrier control, that's an area we've got a couple guys that are certified for, fire caulking, basically, fire penetrations. But that's an area that may be more beneficial, for us to work with a subcontractor. But that's branch by branch. So if my compadres who have more hands-on with your sites, Keith, want to jump in, they're more than welcome to.
I do have another question. With your 5 geographical areas and that, our portfolio, probably to the north, the highest to the north would be Petoskey. You're able to support that area too as well?
Yeah, and Scott can probably address that better. He has a tech, I think, out of the Gaylord area, so he can jump in to address that.
Yeah, we can handle that area. And just to go back on the fire pumps and so forth, basically on the fire pumps, yes, we can handle the testing, and we can handle the small maintenance portion. We can handle as far as if the pump needs to be repacked, or if it's a pressure relief valve or so forth. And if the test finds a failure on the pump, that's when we work with one of our vendors, such as Peerless and so forth. And as far as a pump replacement. So,
but you're not doing the actual flow testing?
Yes, we do.
You do the flow testing? Okay. All right. Okay, very good.
pretty much everything we can do in-house as far as the testing portion.
Anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask?
I got a couple questions.
Go right ahead.
What are you guys' biggest areas of concern relative to life safety?
Can the McLaren team hear us?
It appears so.
Okay. So you're into
The Coleman Lansing.
the others?
It's all over the place. I can tell you.
Yes. That's actually really what our live we provide and what.
So, guys, how are you guys currently tracking your inspections? Is it all electronic? Is it in a manual? Is it in a binder?
Scott, this is Greg at Lansing. All of ours we do through building reports now. The vendor for life safety that doesn't use building reports is for our generator. Everything else is tracked through building reports.
Yeah, and I know from working with you on that, that wasn't the easiest process initially. But
No, but now that we've got it pretty much set up with building reports offers the joint commission version, and also being able to combine the 2 or 3 different companies that we use.
right.
That it's made it a lot easier.
And you just finished an audit at the end of last year, correct?
Correct. That commission is here.
Can you share how your experience there a little bit?
Yeah,